Okay, folks, I'm back to my regular business of pestering and annoying and confusing Jews and Christians. Okay, there's a wonderful article that you can access for free. It's on futureofjewish.com, and it's called Orthodox Jews Have a Lot to Teach Us. I'd recommend that you read it in one sitting, whether or not you're Jewish. It's very interesting. I couldn't help but partially remember some writings and suppositions about the Amish community when I was reading this. You know, I think maybe these communities have similar virtues, even if they strike a lot of modern kind of effete city dwellers such as myself as maybe irrationally committed to ways of life that seem a little bit too costly for someone who isn't naturally prone toward a high degree of fastidiousness. But what I was thinking about is, you know, if like an Orthodox Jew or like an Orthodox Christian or, you know, somebody who really takes their faith seriously was elected into a position of power, then there are certain kinds of vanity and luxury projects they probably wouldn't embark on, you know, because, and I'm not going to pull any punches here, they have an honest belief or suspicion that if they don't act properly, sooner or later, God is going to kick their ass. So, you know, you're not going to find someone wasting millions or billions of dollars on taxpayer money, of taxpayer money on selfish undertakings if they have an honest fear that God is going to kick their ass at some point for not being a sort of disciplined contributor to various sorts of common pool resources in this country, okay? I know that these kinds of people are not given a lot of airtime, publicity, money, and power within the United States, but there are people who live like monks and ascetics, and, you know, they train themselves in silence and a condition of voluntary humility to acquire skills, competencies, and heroic intentions that are not a common feature of the general population. And since we're living in, you know, a highly surveilled or heavily surveilled society, we might as well find ways to deploy certain kinds of technology toward recruiting the exceptionally virtuous into positions of influence and power. I personally have spent a lot of time fantasizing about, you know, the Russian mathematician Grigory Perelman becoming one of the most powerful people in the world, okay? And not just some obscure, hyper-inventive individual who does not have access to lavish resource pools, okay? The actionable takeaway of this video is, please, especially if you're hurting due to, you know, your consumption of news cycles or whatever recent political events are going on, dare to dream boldly about the kinds of people we can have in different positions of influence and power, okay? Not everyone is some degenerate, egotistical, haughty, needlessly adversarial bullshitter like an Andrew Tate or something, okay? There are genuinely beautiful, virtuous souls within this country and numerous other countries. And you need to not lose hope that we can find ways to reward them on temperament matching terms for accepting power over us, okay? Yeah, so that's just something for you to think about. There's certain things I simply won't even entertain because, you know, even though I'm kind of just like a monotheist, I do fear that I might get my ass kicked by God at some point, okay? And I think I and everyone else is better off because of it. So thank you for watching and have a good day, and God bless you, and stay sharp and sober.